What's up, guys? This is How to Play Hunter Soul with Ironside. Today I have a alt that I just started, and I want to quickly run through the first 2 days of this event for new players. First, just so you know who I am, these are all of my accounts. I have Ironside right there at 100, and I've only been playing for 3 months, so I have Catastrophic at 93, who is the guild leader of the guild Ironside that I've made. Then I have Hiyoshi and then Katsune, and they will both be joining Ironside soon, probably tomorrow. I'm waiting on the cooldown. Same for Ironside. Anyway, as you can see, their battle power is pretty high. Everyone is over 11k, and yeah, so that should give you an encouragement that you can be pretty strong within a couple months of playing. This is what Ironside looks like. So we got a Death Scythe. This is my down set. Pay attention to this ring and belt here. This is the Immortal Skin Ring and the Immortal Eye Belt. I'm going to be talking about that today. I got some legendary armor there, another legendary sub-weapon. It's not that great just because it's not enchanted, but it does offer a lot of power and attack boost. Then I have this necklace, which is technically it's a bleed necklace. It does more bleed damage, but it gives you rage, which, if you don't know what rage is what you accumulate as you attack and hit things. And that is what makes those little bubbles of your companions charge up faster. So you're able to use your companions faster the more rage you have. And then I have my tier 9 Death Scythe at enchant 3. Okay, got an electric pet, and Lady Grey, and Nikki. Okay, so I also have Catastrophic, who's got a similar set on. A little bit behind in the team power, but mainly the same setup. Same ring, same belt, same necklace. I'm going a different route to get this armor up to tier 6, or enchant 6. Which is a smart idea to use Bianca. Same thing for this gun. I'm trying to get that to enchant 6, and then we have our shock Death Scythe. Okay. Hiyoshi is pretty much the same. Right now he is using a Dragon Fang, Ice Dragon Fang, and this legendary drop sub-weapon here. Same armor. He doesn't have the Rage Gain necklace yet, so we chose that one. And then look, it's the same ring and belt, and I'm emphasizing that for a specific reason. Kaylin is good. This is pretty much my PvP set. And last but not least, we have Katsune, my newest character that I made 2 weeks ago. Okay, so in 2 weeks I've gotten over 11k. I've got my Dragon Fang up here, legendary, enchanted twice. It's almost enchant 3. I've got enchanted 3 times both the same Immortal Skin Ring and Immortal Eye Belt. And I got the Rage Gain necklace, enchanted once. And then I'm using Fire Armor, which you get early on. And that's something else that I want to emphasize. This armor right here, Majesty. This is really probably one of the best armors they give you at the very beginning of the game. Anyway, it does have flame attack, which is perfect if you're going to use a flame weapon, a fire weapon. So I chose the Dragon Fang. And then, of course, I got my pet. And Lyudmila, a healing companion, and a break and weaken companion. So anyway, this video is mainly for the purpose of explaining the very first event that you get when you start a brand new character. I have 2 other videos about this event, but I went and rewatched them, and apparently I didn't say anything or show anything about day 1 and day 2. So I'm just going to make this video based on day 1 and day 2. And then you have the rest of the videos. So there'll be 4 videos in total that explain this event. And it's really important because I'm now the guild leader of Ironside, and I'm making guides for my new members that join my guild. And the guide is mainly going to explain what I will explain in this video really quick. So in your event tab down there with the red dot, this is what your event screen is going to look like at some point. Right now there's a lot of events going on, so it might not be as big or as many of events in your event screen, but you will have this one with the red dot, 7 days to save the world. Okay, that is super important. And from the very beginning that you start playing, even from level 3, you get this event. Okay, so let me explain this event really quick. You don't have to complete this in 7 days, so don't think that. But you can complete it in 7 days, and you get a whole bunch of free stuff, and that free stuff is really good. And at the same time, it's what they give you in the very beginning based on your choice can really set you up to be, really, it sets you up until level 11. Level 100. You get so many good things when you first start out, but sadly, because of ignorance, most people don't know what to choose, and so they just go with what seems best to them. But having gone and played 4 characters, I now know what is the best thing to do with these choices. So you can disagree with me if you want, but I'm going to teach you how to do the best setup. It'll make you the strongest, it'll give you the most defense, and it'll help you in regards to the future. All right, so this is day 1, day 2, and 3, 4, all until 7 aren't open yet. But day 1, we have mainly what we're going to get. So at the end of day 7, you can see on the left here, you will get a legendary main weapon tier 6 quick upgrade ticket, which means you can upgrade specific legendary items that you have to tier 6. Okay, that is helpful. But more importantly, and something that will impact your team power and your strength all the more, way more than that ticket, is these stones right here. Complete 6-day 1 missions. So in completing all these missions right here, you will get this little stone thing. They're called rare sealed enchant stones, or rare enchant stones. And you get 15 of them. They are immensely important. I could not express that even more. They will help you if you save them and if you use them on the correct items. Okay? So if you haven't finished my videos, or you haven't read the guide that I'm making, don't use those stones yet. Read the guide first, and then you will see what to use those stones on. Or you can use these as an example. Look, Ironside, level 100, is using this ring and this belt, and he's got, or she's got, 3 enchantments on it, and that belt has 3 enchantments on it. Those enchantments are where your power comes from. That's where your strength comes from. And how do you get those enchantments? You use those rare enchant stones. Those are rare. That's a rare ring and a rare belt. And every one of my characters has that same setup because it's so good. It produces a set effect that you're not going to get a better one out of, except maybe some legendary ring and belts. Right now, all that's offered to you is a rare belt and a rare ring. And I think that's on day 2 prizes. But for day 1, you have other choices that you need to make wisely. So your first event here, you can get this reward, complete campaign zone once, which is Hearst Plain. So I did that, so now I get 1,000 of those battle keys. Okay, I've also done these next 2 events, or missions of this event, and it's the clear campaign zone 3 times and level up account to level 5. Okay, so let me just say this so I don't forget. Level 3 is when you get out of, the game telling you what to do and reading all this stuff and how to play. That's when you actually get to the home screen and can kind of have your own freedom. But then level 4, easy play opens up for you. Okay, so I'll tell you about that in a little bit, but easy play, to this day, I use easy play almost all the time now. At first I wasn't, but now I am. Okay, so now we get this chest where I can choose my armor. Perfect. Then I get this other chest where I can choose my weapon. All right. So go ahead and take those. And now I'm going to finish these later, but clearly you can see that if you do the frozen snowfield, you're going to get 1,000,000 gold. And then if you clear a conquest 3 times, you're going to get these 50 sandglasses of prosperity, which are little items that give you multiple materials from killing bosses. So you might kill a boss and you might need to save up 10 of the materials to craft something, craft a sword. But the boss only gives you 1 material per time that you kill him. But if you use these sandglasses of prosperity, that'll make your materials go up every time you kill them. So when you kill that boss, you might get 2 materials back instead of 1, or 3 materials. So it helps you get materials quickly from killing conquest bosses. And use 1 of those sandglasses of prosperity, and you're going to get 3 sweep tickets, which allows you to sweep, to not actually go through the battle of a boss, a conquest boss, but to receive all the rewards from it. Okay, so now we have these 2 chests, which is super important. So we want to go down to our inventory on the right side, and then these are all the categories of your inventory. On the left, so you have important use, Pandora, Bianca, Enchant Stone, Rare, Companion, Material, Event. Okay, so we want to go to use. I'm going to use this because I get free money from it. And now we have our chests. These first 2 choices will set you up for pretty much the rest of the time that you're going to play. Okay, so let's start off with the main weapon. You don't get many choices, but the choices that you get are pretty good for rare weapons. Okay, so use it. So this is what you can get. You can hover and touch all of them to see what kind of stats they have. But I'm just going to tell you, first of all, there's a boss that you're going to have to beat in Chapter 8, and his name is Scorpion King. You have to... Certain bosses have certain mechanics, and this boss, you have to have 1 stack, 1 debuff, 1 full stack of shock debuff on him in order to stun him more effectively. So if you have 1 stack of shock on him, and then you use a stun attack, it'll give twice the amount of stun. And then if you have 2 stun companions like Philippa and Nazriel, or Philippa and Solar, or Philippa and whoever else stuns, then you'll get a full stack of stun, and you'll be able to grab him and then jump on his head and stab him in the head with your sword, or whatever weapon you're using. And so that's why it's really important for you to choose a stun weapon. Okay, well, stun weapons, let's see. The only stun... Okay, here's a stun weapon, a Demi-Rune, but it's toxic. Here's another one, a flame demi-rune. And that's it besides the Nightfalls. Yep, so you get 2 Windslayers, 2 Nightfalls, 2 Demolitions, 2 Bone Crushers, 2 Demi-Runes, and 2 Duelists, right? Alright, well that boss is a pain in the butt, so I'm going to choose the most logical sword that I can to stun him. Which, in my videos, you'll see I made a mistake and I chose the Cold Nightfall because I was prioritizing the arena. And I figured, well, if it's a Cold Nightfall, it's going to cause slow. And I'm going to have Lady Grey, who's an ice companion. And she's going to be slowing them all the more. And then she's going to freeze them, right? And that's logical. That seems like a good choice. But when you get Pandora open, it's so much easier to craft and find Cold Nightfalls. So I'm going to choose the Lightning Nightfall because you're going to be using this Lightning Nightfall even into Chapter 10 bosses, or Chapter 9, Chapter 10. I don't even know Chapter 10, but at least Chapter 9. There are 2 goblins you'll be using this weapon on. So that's what I'm choosing. Okay. And secondly, this is what you have to decide. Now, these weapons, or these armors, are mostly defensive, right? So this one, for example, I see people do this all the time. They wear an armor that does not make sense. They might have a main hand weapon and a sub weapon that attacks someone and puts an air debuff on it, right? But then they'll wear this armor. So they are causing air debuffs to other people, but then they have this airborne damage reduction armor on, as if the other people that you're fighting are using air. That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, most people don't use... People do use air, but not mostly. You'll find people using down, 2 down companions and a down main weapon. You'll find people using bleed, of course, and you'll find some other ones that I'll probably write about more in a guide. But here's another one. This one is a stun damage reduction, okay? And then this one down here is petrified damage reduction. This one is toxic attack boost. Okay, so there's an active one. There is one that actually causes or gives you a buff, right? This one is a cold attack boost. So if you were going to use a cold weapon, that would be good, right? The Ice Duelist would be good with this armor. But we chose a shock weapon. Okay, well, we have this one too, and it's got down damage reduction. And this one is wise. So if I were you, I would choose between these two. This one gives you lightning attack boost, which would be logical to use with the sword we just bought, right? But in the grand scheme of things, I know that the Shock Nightfall, I'm not going to be using that as my main weapon. I'm going to be using that as a weapon to kill certain bosses. But what I'm going to be using most of the time to kill all the rest of the bosses will probably not be Shock, unless I get a Shock Death Scythe. But I think I might go with the Majesty because it's got a flame attack boost. And this is the best flame armor that you can find right now, because they haven't produced a armor that gives you a flame buff. The one in Bianca's shop, I think, might, but you gotta wait so long as a new character or a new player to get down to that point of having Bianca opened up and Kain leveled up so much just to get the Flame Lord armor. So it makes more sense to either get this one or to have down damage reduction. Also, for me, I think I might choose a fire weapon in the future. So I might, let's see. I don't want either of those. I'm not going to go with the shock. So it's either one of these two. This one looks so much cooler. This one, the reason I'm debating on it slowly is because this one is strategic. If people use down a lot, having down damage reduction is going to be really good. But for my plan in the future, I'm going to go with the Majesty. Alright. So there you go. Okay. So now, I'll equip this, and equip my Shock Nightfall. Okay, so this is a very low team powered stun set, if you will. So I have a stun. I have 2 stuns that come from this Nightfall. It's got 2 attacks that add a stun debuff to your enemy. Then I have this sub-weapon that adds stun. Then I have Philippa that adds break and stun. And then I have Nazriel who adds stun as well. And that's why they call it a stun set. So this is just to tell you that these items are very important. And also future-proof, as they call it. The second video I make is going to have even more important choices, because in day 2 and in day 3, I think you get some more chests that are really important to use. And to choose the right thing will really help you in the long run. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.